Angry guy here, and Escort says Chad and Tyrone traumatized her. Well, that is going to be pretty interesting to cover. So, an Escort says that Chad and Tyrone traumatized her. If this is your first time here, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button to, you know, keep getting more content whenever I put on new content. And Escort says that Chad and Tyrone traumatized her. We're going to go ahead and jump into this and see exactly what she's talking about. It comes from Manosphere.
Don't even try to go out with someone. Someone is an instant 10 to you. That is freaking red flag. Primal attachment, survival instinct attachment. You are up for a lot of freaking pain. Someone is an instant 10 and you them and it goes well. You're like in drug territory.
Escort says sex with Tense, aka Chad slash Tyrone's, traumatized her after they ghosted. Welcome to Manosphere Highlights Daily. We all know that most women are only interested in the top 10, top 20% of men. And we all know that most of these guys are not interested in wifing the majority of the women that are available to them. The story of this woman is interesting because it comes from the perspective of an escort. We like to do our homework before we make a video. So we paid her website a visit and read her bio. And it reads like this. After 25 years of marriage and raising 3 children as a stay-at-home mom for most of that time, I filed for divorce so I could be quote-unquote more and feel more. Along the way, I quit my consulting job, published a memoir, became an escort, and then a life coach. I remained single and lived alone for 8 years, now forcing me to look inward into the relationship with myself. There's nobody.
She was married for 25 years, raised 3 children as a stay at home mom, and then felt like she could do more with her life. So she quit her job. She couldn't, no, let me correct myself. She, she divorced her husband, all right, based on her emotions, but quit her consulting job, published a memoir, and then became an escort, a whore. And then after she became a whore, she then went on to become a life coach. And she remained single and lived alone for 8 years, now forcing her to look inward into the relationships with herself. So basically, she became a whore and started chasing men who were tens, having hookups with Chad and Tyrone. And then she discovered that they don't want to be in a relationship with her. And they left her. They ghosted her. And it completely broke her. Realized, because this is the type of woman that took advantage of men, used men, had fun with men, ghosted men. All right, she left her husband and her children because of her emotions, because she was bored. She left her marriage because she was bored. This is the American Western woman. These women are crazy. No man in their right mind should marry a Western woman. 25 years of marriage, not because of anything he did, but she filed for divorce so she could be more and feel more. Not because her husband was not doing everything to make her happy, not because her children weren't great children, but she wanted more and she wanted to feel more. She was bored. Her emotions were bored. Being able to eat every single night, having a roof over your head, having pretty much living in a wonderful house, driving a great car, being able to afford almost anything you want to afford. Okay? Go almost anywhere you want to go. Having a high quality of life, not having to worry about money, not having to worry about food, not having to worry about anything, having a man in the house who will protect you and provide for you. But that still was not enough. She still wanted Chad. She still wanted Tyrone. She still wanted streets. She still wanted the streets. After 25 years of marriage, she still wanted the streets. She left her marriage. She left her consulting job to return to the streets. To return to the streets, y'all. These are the kinds of modern day women we are dealing with. Why would you get involved with one of them? You would have to be out of your minds to get involved with one of these American women today. And by the way, guys, if you're enjoying these videos, go ahead and subscribe if you already have it. Go ahead, turn on notifications, never miss another video again, and like the video because it tells YouTube's algorithm that, hey, I want to see more of these kinds of videos. And also, guys, if you want to get more content from me, you can get bonus videos and other exclusives on Patreon. You can support You can support the channel on Patreon for as little as $10 a month, and it's actually patreon.com/angry guy. You can also drop a one-time donation via PayPal.me, Cash App, and Venmo. Just some options for you guys. What I'm saying again, though, is these women cannot be trusted. They will take it all. All right, no matter how much you do for them, no matter what you do, no matter what you give, you can give them it all, give them it everything. And once their emotions tells them it's not enough, there's still something more for you out there. They will throw everything they have away, everything, and wreck their lives and your life because their emotions told them to.
Nobody to blame for anything now. I realize I am the creator of my life and outlook. All right. Say whatever you want about escorts, sex workers, pros, but they will give you the raw truth. And that's what the red pill is all about: the good, the bad, and the ugly truth. So, with this in mind, now it's time for us to dive into this and do what we have to do. Because we men, we. We men, we.
Might be painful, especially if you someone that was a 10 for you. You someone that's a 10 for you and they ghost you, you are now in your freaking primal attachment system got activated. Never a 10. Don't even try to go out with someone. Someone is an instant 10 to you, that is freaking red flag.
This woman has to be like 50 years old. She has to be like 50 years old, which makes sense because she was married for 25 years. So at like what age 40 something, she decides that she's going to drop her marriage and leave her marriage, leave her kids, and go live this life as an escort.
Primal attachment, survival instinct attachment. You are setting yourself up for a lot of freaking pain. Someone is an instant 10 and you them and it goes well, you're like in drug territory. Looking back on this, every time I cried over a guy now, he was a 10 to me. He was either really good looking or I liked something about his story. I went through like a really freaking hard weekend last week. I was super freaking distraught. I hooked up with this guy who is like so hot.
Guys, look at this. Look how old this woman is. This woman's like in her 50s, and she's still doing this. All right, guys? And Chad and Tyrone are still running trains on her. She's like, he's so hot. So, guys, what do you think this does? When a woman like this woman is like 50 years old or 50-something years old and still hooking up with 10s, all right? They won't marry them, but they'll still hook up with these women. So these women end up believing that they are better than 7s and 8s, all right? This chick is not a 7. When she puts on her makeup, it probably dolls her up and it brings her up and makes her look like an attractive older woman. But let me make this clear. This chick is not even a 7. All right? She's not even a 7. She's an older woman. She has nothing to offer. But you've got Chads and you've got Tyrones out there who probably still have mommy attachment issues. And they're like, they're just like the baby boomers. A hole is a hole. All right? So they're cool with it. And that makes her believe that somehow the fact that she can go and hook up with these guys that look like this, that she somehow is supposed to be with these types of men. Right? These are the types of men that she's supposed to be with. Right? But in reality, men who are 8s and 7s, she's not even in line with those guys. But she is delusional right now. She is so delusional because she's in a place where she's not supposed to be. She's not supposed to be hooking up with 10s. All right? So now she can't even pair bond with 7s and 8s. In fact, peer bonding entirely is difficult because she's working as an escort. So it's like the concept of relationships is like just unbelievable because she mixes it professionally and 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 then also personally. It's madness.
And it activated like a deep part of my attachment system. And it wouldn't have been a problem. It would not have been a problem except that he pulled away. He pulled away.
This is exactly why I read the bio first before we rolled the video. In her bio, she says, I filed for divorce so I could be more and feel more. And that's the key word, feel. It's not about the sex. She gets a lot of that. And it's
See, what a woman is, where the wind blows, her emotions will go. This is the reason why women, after 25 years, doesn't matter how good a relationship is with a man, doesn't matter what he does, all right? Because there's always, what if he did something? Guys, you don't realize there's so many guys who didn't do anything wrong. There's so many guys who didn't do anything wrong. They did everything right. There's nothing else they could have done. Her emotions told her there was something else for her out there, all right? You know what? You want to know what the truth is about Western women? They're for the streets. The reason why they can never be content is because the streets are always calling out to them. It's like, Sarah, hey girl, how you been? How you been, girl? Listen, we miss you. We miss you. And you know who else misses you? Pookie misses you. Pookie's been asking about you. Pookie has been asking about you. And Chad, he hasn't been asking about you, but I know he misses you too. And we miss you. We miss you, and we want you to come back. Oh, I can't come back. Listen to me. You know you're for the streets, girl. You know you're for the streets. And she's like, yeah, I know, all right. But I'm married and I have a kids and I gotta, none of that shit matters. You're a hoe. You're a hoe. You know you're a hoe. You were a hoe then and you're gonna be a hoe now. You're gonna die an old hoe. You're gonna die smelling like cat piss and box wine. All right, man. Get rid of the kids. Get rid of the husband, and get your ass back. Get your ass out here. All right. Get your ass back out here. You know that you know that life isn't for you. You knew it was never for you when you got into that. I know. Exactly. So move your ass, Sarah. Move your ass. Move your ass, Sarah. Move your ass. That's really how it is, y'all. That's really how it is. They're for the streets. They are for the streets, and they know they're for the streets. Guys, I'm going to leave a link to this video in the description of the video if you want to watch the full video because I'm done watching it. But I mean, what do you think about this? This escort says that Chad and Tyrone traumatized her because they ghosted her. In reality, guys, these women, where their emotions goes, where the wind blows, their emotions will go. This is the reason why you cannot get involved with an American woman, with a Western woman, with a UK woman, with a woman from any of these white Western countries, because they will destroy your life. All right, this is a 50-something-year-old woman, and she is still running the streets wild. She walked away from her. She was a housewife. She walked away from her children. She walked away from her husband. She walked away from her consulting job, also that she could go back to the streets. Also, because let me tell y'all right now, she was for the streets before this. Don't think that she just became a housewife and then the streets started calling out to her. No, she was always for the streets. She was always for the streets, which is another reason why you have to find out the kind of body count that she had when she started out. Because she likely had some bodies, but she kept that shit a secret. All right? But listen to me. You have to understand. This is something that because I used to go with I used to go with whores. I used to fuck whores, and something that they told me is that we will always return to this life. You cannot turn a hoe into a housewife, and all of these women in America, they're all hoes. They're all hoes. And trying to turn one of them into a housewife is a complete fucking joke. All right? Escort says Chad and Tyrone traumatized her. Let me know what you think in the comments. How do you feel about that? Do you feel bad for her? I already know you don't, but I want to hear it come out of your mouth, all right? Like the video if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you like the video, share the video. And just remember that all roads lead to MWA. Say it with me. Men walking away. And cheers.